Canada rejects $3 billion in U.S. dairy. We'll be eating grass pretty soon.
Oh, you will be just fine. You will be fine. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, and that's on period. Thank you so much for supporting me on this channel. So credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, in today's video, Canada just returned back a jaw-dropping $3 billion worth of American dairy. Okay, we're talking about milk, we're talking about cheese, we're talking about yogurt, even powdered. Okay, straight at the border. Why? Because their supply management system. Okay, because of their supply management system, and they are saying out loud, we'll protect Canadian farmers first, even if it sparks a trade war. Now, this is not a small change. Okay, US producers were banking on that Canadian market. All right, some of them already had trucks on the road, products ready to stock Canadian shelves. Instead, it all fell back in line. Let's see what these creators have to say.
What they've done to our dairy farm workers is a disgrace.
$3 billion worth of U.S. dairy just disappeared, and no one told you why. In the past 48 hours, over $3 billion in American dairy was rejected at the Canadian border, without warning, without explanation. More than 200 containers of cheese and milk were quietly turned away. No press release, no trade alert, just cold, clinical rejection. Under the USMCA agreement, the U.S. is allowed to claim 3.6% of Canada's dairy market. We went just slightly over. Canada struck back with up to 292% tariffs and surgical precision. Now those same dairy products are back on American shelves, repackaged, sold at 50% off. No label says this product was rejected by a foreign government. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, farmers are dumping fresh milk into storm drains, crying in the fields with no buyers in sight. The president has said nothing. This isn't just trade policy. It's slow death by bureaucracy. Canada played the system. Washington looked the other way. And now our grocery shelves are filled with silent failures, priced to move before they expire.
5% tariff is now in place on some Canadian goods. And one Canadian industry that Washington has taken particular issue with is dairy.
On August 1st, 2025, President Donald Trump signed an executive order raising tariffs on Canadian goods outside of USMCA from 25% up to 35%. This move, confirmed by Reuters and the Associated Press, took effect immediately, and it escalated the trade tensions between the two countries. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney expressed what he called deep disappointment over the decision, stressing that this was a measure harmful to both sides. Now, while dairy products weren't directly targeted by the new tariffs, Canada's dairy supply management system has long been a thorn in Trump's side. He's repeatedly called it an unfair trade barrier, shielding Canadian farmers while limiting U.S. producers from entering the market. According to Wikipedia, this system is designed to stabilize prices and protect family farms from being wiped out by large-scale U.S. agribusiness. And Canada has stood firm, saying time and again that it will defend the system at all costs.
Supply management is designed to protect dairy farms. There are limits to how much Canadian dairy farms can produce and how much from the United States can be imported to Canada.
According to RBC and Wikipedia, Canada set up its dairy supply management system in the early 1970s under the Farm Products Agencies Act. It's a mechanism that has lasted for more than 50 years, built to stabilize prices and protect thousands of family farms from being crushed by massive U.S. agribusiness operations. Industry sources like the Bullvine explain that this system caps U.S. dairy imports at about 3.5 to 3.6% of the Canadian market. And if imports go above that limit, tariffs skyrocket, 241% on milk and nearly 298% on butter. These steep tariffs, combined with strict import quotas, keep Canadian farmers' incomes steady and prevent wild swings in retail prices. It's why the dairy sector has become one of the most heavily shielded parts of Canada's trade policy.
The dairy industry falls under CUSMA regulations, but U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly complained, saying it's an unfair deal.
Unfair deal. The American dairy farmers are furious. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? Banking on the Canadian market, exporting your dairy product, and only for it to be, sent back by the country that you exported to. And they have been trying to break into the Canadian market for years. And now they have been blocked on a massive sale. I mean, $3 billion lost in sale does not just stink, right? I mean, it's like a slap in the face, and it's not their fault. But inside Canada, the farmers are celebrating, okay, because they see this as Ottawa is finally putting local farmers, local jobs, local milk ahead of foreign imports. And the White House is saying, okay, sources are saying that Trump is considering retaliatory tariffs. And is saying that Canada is cheating the free market. But it's like Canadians don't even want these dairy products to start with. Because at the end of this video, I have a compilation of comments, from these videos about what Canada really thinks about this. Because consumers are already grumbling about high grocery bills, okay? People are already saying that, okay, Canada is protecting not just its farms, by blocking US dairy. They are saying that it's not just about milk, okay? That it's about politics and it's about power. And they feel that keeping the US dairy out does not just punish Americans, that it even forces Canadians to pay more, okay? Because Canada might have won by saying that, okay, now, for now, this is protecting our farmers, but the prices of which they buy their dairy in Canada might just keep rising. Guys, what do you think about it? Because all this trade wars here and there is just, I mean, can they not just find a solution to it and let everybody just be fine? I mean, mentally, because this takes a toll on our mental health, no matter how we look at it. Let's keep watching.
Imagine spending 3 generations building a farm, just to watch your milk get dumped, your contracts vanish, and your neighbor up north walk away with your future. Because in 2025, while Washington was busy writing billion-dollar subsidy checks, Mexico quietly cut ties with U.S. dairy and signed a $3.2 billion deal with Canada. No headlines, no press conferences, just one cold piece of paper stamped, "Does not meet ethical farming standards." Boom! Over 250,000 gallons of U.S. milk held at the border. Rejected. And the real twist? American milk is 15% cheaper than Canadian milk, so this isn't about money. It's about trust. And right now, America's losing it. Fast. For decades, U.S. milk was the gold standard. NAFTA made Mexico our top buyer. By 2023, 20% of all American dairy exports went south. But in 2025, that door slammed shut. Why? Because Mexico updated its standards. No hormones, no animal byproducts, total traceability. And guess what? Most U.S. industrial farms failed the test. But Canada? They were ready. QR codes trace milk back to the exact cow. No growth hormones, no bone meal, no shady practices. Canada wasn't selling milk. They were selling values. And the new generation of Mexican consumers? They're not just shopping. They're investigating. They want ethics, transparency, and clean supply chains. The result? American small farmers, not the mega corporations, are the ones suffering. In Iowa, a family-run dairy is dumping 8,000 gallons of milk per week. No callbacks, no backup plan. Over 6,000 small farms shut down in 3 years. The survivors are losing $100-200 a week, while milk gets poured down the drain and their stories get ignored. Meanwhile, Canada's small farmers are thriving, not because they're big, but because they're protected and trusted. This isn't just a trade loss. It's a reputation collapse. And if America doesn't rebuild trust fast, the world will keep choosing values over volume. Because in 2025, milk isn't just a drink.
Scott Connell is feeling some deja vu.
The worst part is you don't know how it's going to impact.
His family has owned Locust Lane Farm since 1901, a dairy farm just east of Brockville.
We've been feeding Canadians with quality milk for that period of time.
But the latest tariff threats from Donald Trump have brought about a sense of unease.
They'll be met with the exact same tariff unless they drop it. And that's what reciprocal means. And we may do it as early as today, or we'll wait till Monday or Tuesday.
His latest proposed tariffs would target what he claims are unfair Canadian tariffs on dairy products.
Canada has been ripping us off for years.
Even though the president agreed to that deal 5 years ago, which had the goal of protecting domestic farmers in Canada.
It's supposed to be a legal agreement, and we kind of thought that's the way it's going to be.
It's our way of life here on the farm, and we're feeding our Canadian population, and that's what we want to do. They think that's the way to provide more income for their own farms.
Farms like this all over Eastern Ontario would be impacted by any kind of tariff on dairy products from the United States. In fact, Locust Lane Farms has actually been in the Connell family for over 124 years. They've had to increase their production too in the last few years due to demand in the region.
We've increased our production here by 40%. Since 2017, we have grown to meet the demand.
That has resulted in more work for the farm, increasing the number of cows they milk and how often they milk them. But this latest threat may force them to change the way they operate.
Everything is uncertain. It's hard to digest how somebody can put those things out in the open and want everybody scrambling to figure out what they're going to do.
Here's the thing about American dairy and Canadians. Now, I know the orange buffoon wants Canadians to buy more American dairy. Let me tell you something. I, as a Canadian, most Canadians I know, in fact, I don't know any, who would actually buy the stuff because Canadians aren't touching American dairy with a 10-foot pole. A 10-fucking-foot pole. We're not doing it. It just isn't appetizing to us. And that's just the way it is. So, not happening. American dairy, no.
I see. So as a Canadian, you don't want to take American dairy. All right, let's see what these creators have to say about that. So this person says US milk is poison. We Canadians wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy American milk. Proud to be Canadian. In the US, make sure the milk you purchase is best before. These rejected milks are being restocked. I mean, that is true. That is really true. Canadian hardening their skin essentially. Ooh, so many comments, guys. I feel bad for the people. Good job, Canada. America, are you great yet? How is it going with the Epstein's file? Oh my goodness. US dairy has a disgusting flavor. Is that true? Ooh, milk that is full of hormones and antibiotics will not be consumed by most Canadians. Ooh. American farmers use recombinant somatro. Ooh, that's a lot. Guys, these are just comments, and it's showing that even Canadians are not welcoming for this dairy product. They do not want it on their shelves because it's not just about the country itself rejecting these goods, okay, because of tariffs, retaliatory tariffs here and there, but even the citizens themselves do not want it on their shelves. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As a Canadian, would you be welcoming to US dairy? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please enjoy this video if you have found value in it. Kindly share, and I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe because mental health is very important. Ciao.